Okay, so let's kind of do a quick review. Clearly, fact-finding is the key to what we're doing. By peeling the onion and digging deep and really focusing, we really can uncover behavior, skills, and competencies within one accomplishment-based question. What's really important here is we're going to actually ask that question over again for different accomplishments at different periods of time with different work-related aspects to it to really assess consistency and growth over time. And that's really one of the key things that I don't think most people would quickly see as they do this. So we're going to repeat that same question, develop trend lines over time. Let me show you what I mean. I asked you a question about a specific period of time, or I said, tell me about an accomplishment at some specific period of time. You pick something. You made an impact at some point in time. I don't know when it was, but I certainly, during the interview question, I asked you, when did this take place? What's interesting, once you know when someone had an accomplishment, ask the same most significant accomplishment question for a different period of time. If someone asked an accomplishment question most recently, in fact, who asked one most recently? Great. Who asked one that was more than 2 or 3 years ago? Great. So if you asked one that was more than 2 or 3 years ago, just ask about another question that was more recent. Tell me about a major accomplishment in your current position. If you did one in your current position, tell me about a major accomplishment in your prior position. And you can go back 3, 4, 5, 6 years and get one 5, 6 years ago. So you start seeing this trend line of performance over time. You see consistency and growth over time by asking the same question for different periods of time. You start seeing this trend of growth over time. So the idea is you want to ask the most significant accomplishment question and fact-finding for different team accomplishments, individual accomplishments, and job-related accomplishments. Let's assume that the first few accomplishments were all individual accomplishments. What about you, what you did, your creativity, your technical skills, but something you personally did, your sales skills. You might want to then change it to a team accomplishment. And if you look on the middle of your card, you'll see that there's a whole sequence of questions about team accomplishments. Describe the team, what were some team objectives, what goals were met, tell me about examples of helping others or you coached others. But ask a series of team accomplishments. And do the same thing. Start seeing a trend of team accomplishments, of the accomplishments getting bigger over time. Another thing you can do is you can clarify performance objectives by asking either the same question. If you have a team, hey, you've got to build a team of accountants to improve the reporting. Can you tell me about an accomplishment you've done that's like that? You've got to redesign this whole circuit to improve operating performance to do A, B, and C. Can you tell me about an accomplishment you've done that? So now these accomplishments can actually relate to specific jobs. The first one or two might just be, hey, tell me about something you've done that's that you think is great, but then you can start focusing on things that you want to relate to that are related to the job. Another thing we always do is when we're doing team skills is always have the person describe the size of the team. We call it the 360 work chart. Who works for the person, who works with the person, who does the person work for? Does a person work with other departments or just his or her own departments? You start asking always about the org chart, who the person works with, for, and if anybody works for the person, you start seeing the growth of these team accomplishments over time. Particularly if they become multifunctional, then the person starts dealing with company executives. That's part of the achiever pattern. If they get assigned to bigger projects, bigger teams, working with other level executives inside and outside the company. So that alone is great evidence to see if you've got growth in the team skills, growth in the impact. Then we're going to take all of those and compare them to the 10-factor scorecard. Now, we haven't got to that yet, but you'll see that. We'll be able to use the evidence from this one question, looking at the growth of those trend lines, the size of the team, individual team, and job-related skills. You really have some great insight with respect to the candidate. So now let's kind of do the exercise. Now, let's actually try it out. That's what we're going to do. We're going to try it out, break it into an interview. In fact, the way I'm going to do that, what I like to say is we're going to have one leader, and everyone else is a fact finder. But I want to actually demonstrate how this works. So I'm going to pick someone in the audience who I think would be, in fact, who has a great accomplishment. In fact, there's nothing to do with the accomplishment. This has to do with how you set the leadership or the organization of the interview up. So let me kind of pick somebody.